So as you see, I am currently packing, which means tomorrow we are leaving Mexico City to go back to our hometown or our home state of Texas. While this will be a packing vlog, I actually think it'll be most useful to use this time to talk about how my research has changed because of my injury and some of the new obstacles or opportunities that I'm going to kind of have to face once we get back to the US. But for now, I'm going to keep packing all of this stuff. Okay, so this is kind of the first setup of my first suitcase. This is all my undies and socks and stuff. I will say generally I have never unpacked, especially since I spent so much time here hurt. We didn't really go anywhere, so I wore the same outfits, pajamas almost every day. This pile that you're about to see right now is the clothes that I wore most, so really that was just organization, and this is me getting what I've worn ready to get packed up and go. So yeah, these are the clothes that I'm going to put away. And then over here are my gifts and things that I want to give to people and my Distinguished Teaching Award. And that's going to go into this suitcase that's all hard and protected. So I have my backpack and then also my other carry-on. And now we're going outside to explore. If you watched my past vlog that's linked here, you would know that we came here the other night, but we actually didn't eat anything because all of the pastries were gone and all they had were like cakes that we didn't want. So we came back today so we could try some of the pastries that I saw on YouTube that I think would be delicious. So that's what we're here for. So we've been home for a little bit. I've been watching YouTube, and I thought this was a good time while we're waiting for our food to get delivered for dinner to talk about my research, and not necessarily what is my research, but rather what happens now. So I've been studying abroad for my fieldwork year for the past 7.5 months or so. But if you've even remotely seen any of the past few of my vlogs, then you would know that I've gotten hurt. But the thing is, my getting hurt really did impact my research, and I kind of alluded to it in a lot of my past videos because I couldn't walk anymore, and where I wanted to go for research required me to be able to walk. So I spent most of my time here in Mexico City kind of in the house, not doing anything or not going anywhere, because again, Mexico City is also not pretty accessible to those who can't walk. And like I just said, I am packing to leave Mexico, and I've done zero amount of research. So this means my dissertation looks completely different. Now, I could have gone the route where I toughed it out, stayed longer, try to get more grants or research money to come back and really finish my dissertation, but honestly, I just rather graduate than to make the perfect dissertation or the perfect research project, which is why I thought it was important to have this conversation today, because basically I've taken out an entire case study, which means I'm omitting an entire chapter. And that means I have to figure out how to restructure my dissertation with one case study, but to still kind of stick to the things that were approved by my committee to make a good quality dissertation, whatever that means. Now, I've said this in other videos, but generally there's a lot of pressure to make the perfect graduate project, right? The perfect dissertation. But there's a few things that go into play with what you're creating as a graduate student. One, when you write your dissertation and it gets published on ProQuest, it's kind of the property, or literally the property, of the university you're publishing it under. So technically you don't even have full rights to your dissertation. The second thing that I think a lot of people don't mention, and this is something I firmly believe, but as graduate students, we have the skill sets to be professors after we do our exams. That's what exams are all about, just to let you know that you have the skill set. And the dissertation is just the object that we use to assess. So instead of me trying to create the perfect dissertation that has all these case studies that do all these things, I'm instead going to use the skills that I've learned before my exams and do a good research project with what I have. So instead of struggling to try to be perfect, I'm going to do my best with what I got. And I don't want to struggle through these next 9 to 10 months before I graduate, because it's just not worth it. And then something else that I firmly believe is that you can make a good project from anything. A lot of times we over-obsess about trying to be the most prolific graduate student that's ever existed. And while that'd be really cool to get that type of accolades, when it comes down to it, every graduate student isn't going to be prolific. And very few people, if any, outside of your committee read the dissertation. So instead of thinking of your dissertation as this perfect document that has to encompass everything you know, instead see it like you see most term papers, a thing you have to do to get the grade. And in this case, it's a big thing that you have to do to get the degree, but it's still just a thing. And it's the starting point, it's the foundation, it's not really the end. While we're ending our graduate career, we're actually beginning our academic career as professionals. And I think with that in the back of my head, it feels a lot less intimidating or scary to be like, I'm not going to talk about that anymore, and this is now all I'm going to focus on. I still don't necessarily know what that'll look like, but I do know that whatever that becomes, or whatever it will look like, will be good enough and will help jumpstart the career that I want to have in whatever future that I pursue. Now, yes, that was a bit of a soapbox, but I just think it's important to know that grad school is still just school. And when real life happens, it's okay to be adaptable and to be flexible with what we thought we were going to do. But it's time to get off my soapbox and actually get something to eat. Hola,